Okay, this is the video for adding a PPC. Sean's going to take us through this. Talk us through it as you go, Sean.
All right, first you're going to create a task on the job itself. Add the recurring task. Put the start date, which for this person is on May the 2nd. The expiration date on PPCs needs to be 1 year after the start date.
On this one, you're going to set this one up as a 2-time PPC?
That is correct. And I'm actually going to give a little bit of leeway past the expiration date. So it gives us some time to get the call in. The PPC is 2 times per year.
Hold that right there. So it's the 2-time. There's a bunch of these, but it's the twice a year. Okay.
This needs to be 0.
What is this?
This, the custom pricing needs to be at 0 because we are not charging the customer on the task.
The task is just for the scheduling. You're going to create a work order for actually doing the work, right?
That's correct. So the service profile is the PPC checklist, while the service recurrence is semi-annually or twice a year. And the assigned to is the queue for the corresponding region, which in this case is Filter Clean South Houston. We are not invoicing any of this stuff. Recurring note: sell new PPC in May of 2017. Lets us know that that is whenever it is up and we need to reschedule a new one. Submit. The task is created. This job is going to be done on the 2nd. Next up, the work order.
Okay, so just, I know we're repeating ourselves, but the task was to set up the recurring for the whole year, 2 of them, and now we're going to schedule the first work order per that task.
That's correct. This will have the actual charge on it. So we're looking at filter service. The actual line item is $250, which is the charge for the PPC.
That? Down there, $250 plus tax, right?
That's correct.
Where are you now?
And getting the scheduled date on the work order for May 2nd, which is when she would like for it to be done. The technician that's performing it, requested by, is the person that created the job.
That's Sean.
Always make sure the work order is released so the technician can see it.
What does that release do? What is that?
Releases it to the schedule for the technician to see it in the field and for us to see it.
You lost me. Oh, now you're putting a description.
Yeah. The releasing the work order actually creates it so that you can see it on the schedule and the technician can see it in the field. And perform filter clean, first of PPC. Verify, it's good to go.
So let's think through. So that work order you actually put on that technician.
That's correct.
And it's tied to that customer, just like the task recurring was tied to that customer. And
yes.
Then, okay, go ahead. What else you got?
The last thing, and whenever you set these things up, so we have the task set up. This is just the timeline. That's all it's indicating. We have the work order, which is what the technician is going to be doing. It's also how we're collecting money. And last but not least, you have to go to the schedule. You have to go to the date, which is the start date. And in this case, Filter Clean Q South Houston. This is the bread and butter that actually makes everything happen. Go to add log and close this job out. This stuff is just placeholders to close it. Just put some times in. The submission is myself, so I'm going to put my name here. And then why I'm closing this job. Booked. Booked for Jonathan to perform and submit. And by closing that job, it will now show up in 6 months.
So what did you just do there? You created a job and you closed that job?
Yes, I created the task and then I closed that task out after I booked it to make sure that in 6 months this job will show up. If this task is not closed out when that job is booked, it'll sit there in limbo. Okay,
so let me summarize. So we did 3 big items. Created the task, and then we created the first work order for the first filter clean. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then once that work order was created, we went back to the task schedule, if you will, that had 2 items for the year, and we closed out the first one.
That's correct.
Okay? What about billing now?
The billing will happen whenever the technician goes out next Tuesday and completes that work order. It'll automatically put that line item, it'll kick it over to our managed receivables so we can push it into QuickBooks.
And that'll be the full 250 plus tax.
Correct.
Because that first work order, did you put 250 on that work order?
Yes.
Okay, so when we come back 6 months and do the second one, that's a no charge.
It's a no charge. And it has been notated on the customer right here. Sell new PPC in May of 2017. So when this thing shows up in 6 months, we're not selling them anything because we're not calling them to charge until May of 2018, actually. There we go.
Okay, I think we're good. Any other thoughts or questions?
Nope.
All right, we're done.